Welcome back to 6-Minute Math, where we turn confusion into clarity 6 minutes at a time. Thank you for joining us today for our video on using multiple exponent laws. Please check out our previous videos on the exponent laws to help you through all the examples today. 6 minutes is not a lot of time, so here we go. Our key points today are to familiarize yourself with the exponent laws and how they work. Please check out our videos here, as just mentioned before, to help you with this process. We're going to isolate which ones we need for that question, and then we are going to practice. So let's get on to some examples. We're going to simplify using positive exponents for the following. Now, for this specific example, I'm going to first do power of a power. So I'm going to multiply this exponent of 3 into all the items in my brackets. 2 cubed is 8. X to the negative 3 times 3 is x to the negative 9. And y squared times 3 is y to the 6. That is divided by 4 cubed is 64. X squared times 3 is x to the power of 6. And y to the negative 4 times 3 is y to the negative 12. At this point, I am going to use my division and quotient laws and simplify. 8 divided by 64 is 1 over 8. X to the negative 9 divided by x to the 6th. I would subtract those exponents, which is going to give me x to the negative 15. And y to the 6th divided by y to the negative 12. Again, I would subtract those exponents for y to the 18. And then lastly, I have a negative exponent here, which means I will take the reciprocal and move the x to the negative 15 into the denominator, giving me a final answer of y to the 18 on top over 8x to the 15 on the bottom. Let's look at another example. We're going to simplify again using positive exponents. In this case, I'm going to do power of a power first again and multiply both of these exponents into the brackets. This will give me x to the 6th, y to the negative 3. And I'm going to multiply that by x to the negative 8, y squared. I'm now using my product law because I'm multiplying all of these powers together. So we have x to the 6th and x to the negative 8. I would add those together for x to the negative 2. And y to the negative 3 and y squared. I would add those together for y to the negative 1. I have two negative powers here. That means I take the reciprocal of both and put them on the bottom for a final answer of 1 over x squared y. Let's simplify the following. In this case, again, I'm using power of a power first, and I'm going to multiply this negative 2 into my brackets. A to the negative 2 times negative 2 would be a to the 4, and b cubed to the power of negative 2 would be b to the negative 6, because I would multiply those exponents together. I would divide that by a to the 4 to the power of negative 2 would be a to the negative 8, and b to the negative 1 to the power of negative 2 would be b squared. At this point, I'm using my quotient law, so I'm dividing my powers with the same base. Let's start with the a's. A 4 minus negative 8 is 12. And for b, -6 minus 2 is -8. So my last step is to get rid of that negative exponent by taking the reciprocal and putting it on the bottom. A to the 12 divided by b to the 8. On to our last example here. We're going to simplify using positive exponents of the following. Now in this situation, I'm actually going to simplify my brackets first. So I'm going to simplify 4 over 8 into 1 over 2. A to the negative half minus half would be a to the -1. And then for b, I have 0 minus -3 over 2, which just gives me b to the 3 over 2. And all of that is going to be squared. At this point now I can use my power of a power and multiply that squared into all of my items. 1 squared is just 1. A to the -1 times 2 is a to the -2. And 3 over 2 times 2 is just 3. All of that would be over 2 squared, which is 4. And then I have to get rid of my negative exponent by bringing it to the bottom for a final answer of b cubed over 4a squared. Those are all the examples we have today for using multiple exponent laws. If you want to see more examples, be sure to check out our Using Multiple Exponent Laws extended version with the link in the description below. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at 6Minute Math, and be sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment below for any topic you want to see me tackle in a future 6-minute episode. Always remember that the best way to get math is to practice math, so keep on practicing, and until next time, keep solving and evolving.